Welcome back to another episode of Big Knick Energy Podcast. Follow us and subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Sponsoring by your host, Joe Yoke. Yeah, I'm sponsoring the podcast now, boys.
What are you doing
I just told you. Nothing. Joe Yoke here, though. We got Vin, the man behind the action on the scenes, producing, showing his beautiful face, looking at that Knicks flag.
Don't
right
get
behind
used to it.
Oh, that's so sad, ladies. Also, he's taken, so I'm sorry. And Angelo, the man behind the website itself, Big Knick Energy.
The man under the blanket.
The man under the blanket.
On the pillow.
On top of the pillows and in the back surgery.
Get used to it.
Get used to it.
This man's about to go back under the knife next week to get some ham and cheese made at his deli, you know?
Yo, shout out Brothers Ravioli, Howard Beach.
Facts.
Joe, what are we working with?
Right?
It's been about a week since we all met up and talked about some Knicks action. It's been 2 games since we last got together. They played the Bucks. They played Oklahoma.
That they did.
I'd rather not talk about the Bucks game.
I wish that we only played OKC, honestly. That was pretty bad. So the Knicks went into the All-Star break 19 and 18. Predictably split the 2 games since then. They lost to the Bucks, beat OKC. Currently 20 and 19, 7th in the East. Half game back and forth, 2.5 games ahead of a tie for 10th. So at this rate, who the hell knows what's going to happen, honestly? They're going to make it, going to get the top 5 pick. It can go anyway. The past 2 games, first was unfortunately against Milwaukee Thursday. It was 134-101.
Giannis wasn't going to lose twice to New York.
No shot. Oh my God, Giannis Antetokounmpo, that Greek freak bastard, a triple-double, showing Randall how to do it for the next game, though, which is pretty cool.
It's funny because we watched that YouTube video. Me and Joey checked out this YouTube video, and there was this guy swearing that Julius Randle isn't that far off from Giannis.
You showed me the video. I was telling Angela that before.
Yeah, we watched this video. I forget his name, but we will give credit to him.
It's Into the Knicks verse. Into the Knicks
verse. Yeah. Into the Knicks verse. So we watched this video of Into the Knicks verse. Awesome quality videos, by the way. I love what you're doing, man. That is awesome. I would love to have you on here one day. So basically this guy's comparing Julius's numbers to Giannis's numbers. And he's saying the only thing that's keeping Julius from being the number 1 guy who takes you to the championship is his accolades as far as all NBA team, all defensive team, which he doesn't have any of those yet. He might be on his way. We hope he is. But Giannis showed us last night why the guy from Into the Spider-Verse, or
it was Thursday night. Yeah.
Thursday night. Why that is completely wrong. Giannis is a generational player.
Like, it's just as simple as, like, if I was just telling Joey before, like, if you switch Giannis or Randall, would Randall produce and would the Bucks produce at the same rate with Randall on the team instead of Giannis?
And for as much as we all like Julius Randle, the answer is hell no. Giannis is a back-to-back MVP, about to make another All-NBA first team, if not a third MVP. Like, how can you even make that comparison?
It's just like inflation and stats, you know.
How long have they been, as compared to each other? How have they been as compared to each other? Been in the league? Like, has Giannis been in there less? No, like less amount of time.
I think Giannis started the year after Randall did. Randall's 26 and Giannis is, I believe, 25.
We don't fact check here, folks.
But they've obviously
they've
built around Giannis, like, since, like, they drafted him. Like, the second they drafted him, it was all Giannis. Let's build around Giannis, and they just kept moving forward with that. You know,
they're both 26. They're both the same age.
Okay. You know how I feel about Middleton. I was talking about that in the group chat the other day. I think he's phenomenal.
Chris Middleton would be the second best player on our team by far. Chris Middleton and Julius Randle are probably closer than Giannis than Julius Randle. Just don't tell the guy from Into the Knicks verse that. He might be upset. Moving on, though, in regards to the game itself, RJ Barrett, who's been a bright note for like 10 games now, 22 points, only 9 of 15 field goals. Very, very efficient games recently out of good old Rowan Barrett.
I saw on Reddit, someone said, finally, he's looking like the Robin to our Batman.
Finally, he's looking like Alfred Payne is not passing him the ball.
Let's not go there yet.
It's a tease for later.
We all owe, I don't know if you guys know, RJ Barrett's trainer, Drew Hanlen, who I spoke to personally once after, like, RJ had one good game, after that stretch where he missed like 21 3-pointers in a row. Everybody was adding Drew Hanlen on Twitter saying, you know, fuck Drew Hanlen because he's his trainer and he's been working with him since he's been in the league. So,
I mean,
you know, now that he's shooting the ball at this high clip, efficiency, 2-point field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage. I personally DM'd him myself on my personal account, apologizing for Knicks fans in whole about the criticism he received. So
fuck Drew Hanlen, whatever his name is.
I
Can
hope
you do me a favor, Drew? If you ever listen or if you ever come on the podcast, I need to know why you don't teach Alfred to pass the ball.
He works with RJ. He doesn't work with Alfred.
Oh, he works for RJ?
Vin,
never mind. Drew, you're good. You're good, Drew.
Oh, God. Vin, you're
good,
dead
Drew.
hearing your own podcast, man. You got to listen a little better.
I'll edit that part.
Alec Burks went 17-8. Julius Randle with by far his worst game of the season. First time all year he got below 10 points. 7 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 turnovers. That's no bueno. You know who was bueno, though? Fucking Giannis. This man went 24, 10, and 10 with plus 34 as his plus minus rating. It's like that dude, the Into the Knicks first guy. Currently, we're filming this on Sunday, so the video came out 3 days ago. They have 470 something views currently. One of those views had to be Giannis with the way he played against Julius Randle. Because that dude looked at that and he fucking was like, no shot is this dude almost as good as me.
Yeah.
Brian Forbes off the bench, 21 points. Dante DiVincenzo, 11 points, 8 rebounds, only played 23 or 24 minutes. Also a plus 34 in the game.
I'm sick and tired of DiVincenzo and Pat Connaughton being like the only white dudes that play on the Bucks, and like they just constantly cook the Knicks every time. It's either one of the two.
It'd be more comfortable if it was a black dude cooking the Knicks.
I mean, they're just such token.
No, like those pesky, shitty white players, honestly. By the way, we're all white, so we can say this. You know all those little white players like what's the dude's name that was on the Cavaliers?
What is happening on this podcast?
Matt, you can definitely get that part out. You know Matthew Dellavedova, though? Every time Dellavedova.
Yo, don't you shit on Dellavedova. He gave his blood, sweat, and tears to the game.
It's just like the most annoying people that it's like, why are you always stealing the ball when you can't dribble?
Yeah, like Barea.
TJ McConnell.
Yeah, JJ Barea.
Hey, I got TJ on my fantasy team. He is an assist machine. If he's good for nothing, he's good for nothing.
He's going to be out the league in a year.
Well, whatever. Give me my fantasy points. I'll see you later. I know you see me winning. I'm 9-4 right now.
I'm not checking you because I'm in first place regardless.
Not a single person out of the 12 people that listen to this care about your guys' fantasy basketball.
Oh, they will one day.
Maybe sooner or later. Anyway,
we got to intervene.
You
should. We asked you to join. You didn't join, Joe.
I said maybe. DiVincenzo.
Yeah, fucking DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo. So I have a little gripe with Obi Toppin. We're gonna get into that later. A little more of a tease.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah, but DiVincenzo, literally Obi Toppin does his little one dribble at the 3-point line, try to handoff thing. Because I don't know if he never learned how to dribble the ball or if they just don't let him dribble the ball unless he's doing a weird post-up move. He does the weird handoff to Alec Burks, and DiVincenzo was like, oh, this guy's going to do this one thing that he does all the time.
He just handed it to him.
He literally, DiVincenzo just cut in between the two of them. And he's like, oh, thank you for the ball. I appreciate that. And
Obi needs some personal time.
Dude, think with how much of a close game that was at that point. They were only down by 2. Giannis scored right before that, so they were down by 4. It was 46-42 when they did that handoff crap. And then from there, he stole up the 3-point line, got on a contested layup, and the Knicks, next time the Knicks scored the ball, it was 46-42. It became 56-44, and the game was over.
Yeah.
It basically was part of like a 19-5 run, and the game was over by halftime.
Guys, I just want to say that in my current broken back state,
Shout out Reddit.
If Obi got that ball at the top of the key and I was on that court, I'm stealing it every time.
Every time.
Even with a broken back.
I'm stealing it every time.
Yo, to me, it looks like Obi's too excited to be out there still. Like, you remember when you were a kid, you get the ball, you're like, I'm just going to shoot it. Fuck it. Like, I feel like he's still got that.
Should I just go into my Obi Toppin rant right now?
Hit it. Let's go.
Before you go into that, I just feel like he's like one of those guys that has so many friends in New York, and he's like, "Yo, watch my game." And he's like, "I'm gonna score 20 tonight," and he scores like 4 or 6, and he's just trying to impress all his good friends from Queens, New York, and it's just not.
He's still young, Obi. If you ever by chance hear this, we're not shitting on you. We love you. You're young. We're gonna shit on you. It's gonna happen.
So I am going to actually shit on you, Obi. Also, you're not young, and that's part of the rant I'm about to go on. Are you guys ready?
Player on the Knicks, like the third oldest.
Come on, what is he, 23?
He's 23. So anyway, so hear this out. Obi Toppin was 6'5". He's currently 6'9". He was 6'5" at 17 years old. He played 1 year of organized high school ball, 1 year at 17. Didn't get any D1 offers. You know why? Because you played 1 effing year. That's why you got no D1 offers. No one cared about your dad being Dunker's Delight. You're not getting signed anywhere. He goes to
side note, I was searching up Dunker's Delight. The only thing that popped up with Google was that his dad got arrested mad tons. Like, if you look up Obi Toppin's dad, that's it. There's nothing about his basketball career. I was trying to do the edit when you were talking about Dunker Delight, the son of royalty. It was like it was his mugshots or one picture of him with Obi from like 1994.
Yeah, to look up the YouTube videos and cut the clips where he was actually dunking. That's what he should have done. Future reference. Anyway, so we got no D1 offers. So he goes to a post-grad year. So he's not 17 anymore. He's 18. He grew to 6'9". He's still in high school, though, 18 years old. He gets offers at the end of that year from like 5 or 6 schools. Georgetown, oddly enough, Patrick Ewing, shout out, also a little tease. One of them, he chooses Dayton. His first year of school, academically eligible. He's already a 19-year-old freshman. He doesn't play his freshman year. Now he's a redshirt freshman.
He didn't play his freshman year?
He didn't play his freshman year. He was already out of high school for like an extra year. So now he's 20. Wow. He's actually supposed to be a sophomore. No, he's supposed to be a junior if he was just going to college the normal time. He's now a redshirt freshman playing his first year as a junior age student.
Did he start that year? Like once?
No, he started half the games. He started half the games. He did pretty well. He won the freshman of the year. He was 14 points a game, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was like fucking...
Freshman of the year is 20 years old. He's already older than most of the players.
The freshmen are 18, 17, 18.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a freshman. They're like, why do you have a grown beard? What is that?
He's also playing in the A10, right, Joe?
He's playing in the Atlantic 10. It's for Dayton. He's not playing for Duke or Michigan or anything crazy like that. His next year, he bumps up all his stats. He's still playing for the A10. The calling card of playing good teams was they got second place in the Maui Invitational. You know what this dude does throughout all of high school and college once he grew a little bit? He dunks the ball. If you look up this man's Wikipedia page, it says that he is one of the top scorers in Dayton history, over 1,000 points, 190 baskets for dunking. You know what happens if you look up the rosters for the other A10 teams? They're all like 6'8" or lower. This dude's 6'9". Yeah. He's literally just an inch taller and jumps 3 inches higher than all of them. And then this man shows up to the NBA. I don't know if you guys see him dribble. I don't see him dribble. I see him dribble the ball.
I think it's on purpose, Joe. I think
he dribbles the ball about 3-4 times a game.
Yeah, I think it's on purpose.
Right. Each time he gets one dribble and he gets to touch the ball 4 times. It's 4 dribbles. So he went from the A10.
I would love. Do we have to pull up how many times Obi Toppin has dribbled the ball?
Gotta be a statistic.
Get that actual stat.
So he goes to from the A10 and he's already older than all these dudes that literally just got out of high school and he eats them for breakfast. And then he goes to the NBA and he's like, oh, I can't jump higher than anyone anymore. Wait, 6'9" means I'm an average height person? Yep. Oh no, what am I doing? This man doesn't shoot threes well. He can't drive to the hoop. He's like, okay, help defense, but can't stop anyone one-on-one.
Well, Joe, that goes
23 years old.
All right. So that goes back to, I think he's too excited. Like, you ever been in a position, like, obviously we are no comparison to guys being in the NBA, but like, even when a kid, you're playing 5-on-5, you get the ball, you're so excited, you just fucking do something.
He's getting paid multi-million dollars to produce on the New York.
That's what I'm saying. You got to slow the thought process down and do some moves. I feel like it's like, got the ball, I have to score.
Well, you know what? If I've listened to, maybe at the beginning of the year, right when he started playing, like right after he came back from his injury, I believe his mother did an interview, or there was an article with his mother in the Post or something, and she spoke about like his role at Dayton and his role at the Knicks, and she said like he basically had the ball in his hands, basically like every top 10 pick in top first round pick in the NBA draft, basically in college, they're the man. So she was speaking about how he got the ball on the post a lot, and playing with the Knicks right now, he's more of a handoff at the
Going back to the point I just made, though, he got the ball in the post a lot against dudes shorter than him that couldn't jump as high. And there's no one 7 foot on Fordham. There's no one 7 foot.
You're gonna get some people are gonna beef with you today on this, Joe. People aren't gonna like you after this one.
I know, that's okay. I hate Alfred Payne like the rest of us. I'm sorry I don't like Obi Toppin yet. Maybe one day.
The roles differentiate, or however the fuck you say that stupid ass word. But you know, being an NBA player is just, you got to adjust to the style of play that.
Dude, how many guys you see come out of college? They go, "Yo, the league is so much faster."
All of them, every single one. And I will say, in Obi's defense, the Knicks run a slow, really one of the slowest paces in the league, half-court based offense, and he's behind the best player on their team, direct position to position comparison. He's
Joe,
not.
what were you saying? The Knicks'
in the-
weakness is zone defense?
I never said that in my life. What?
Man,
Well,
I
it
didn't
was
even
at the beginning of the year. It was at the beginning of the year. They were having a hard time against zone defense, but they figured that out.
Against zone defense, yeah, because they just got
Yeah.
ran the ball more inside. Like all they do for zone defense is you get the ball in the middle of the elbow where the free throw line is. From there, there's a collapse on the inside. You either dish down to the baseline, you dish out to the 3-point line in the corner. It's pretty easy to break down, especially for
Sounds
NBA
like
players.
10, 12-year-old basketball.
Obi Toppin does not look like he would know anything to do in his own defense, but then again, he can't get by anyone on a dribble, so they don't need to play zone defense on him.
I think this is the perfect segue into the Alfred thing. Okay. Do you think if we had a better point guard, Obi would be producing
So that
better?
was one of the things about the whole like helping out Obi Toppin case kind of thing that I wanted to make. He has one of the slowest paces in the league on the Knicks. He's not like the most defensive savvy person, which can be developed. I mean, Tom Thibodeau, one of the best defensive coaches for a reason, should be able to help. But he's not defensive savvy yet, so he doesn't earn as much court time, especially behind Julius Randle. And they do
even mean
like just knowing where to go and where to be. We were saying it before the podcast, Angelo, that like he's decent at help defense, oddly enough, but his positioning for one-on-one defense is usually off, and then he gets blown by, even though he has a really high athletic ability scale. He has very high verticality, great athleticism. He can jump out of the gym, but his first step on defense, it's like slow. I mean, he already has the interesting posture, so it's like kind of harder to move.
The shaggy run.
Yeah, he doesn't bend his fucking knees.
He doesn't bend his knees. Yeah, I don't know. But like also for what it's worth, like Elfrid Payton is not a dude that's going to set him up. Derrick Rose is not a dude.
Listen,
that's
while we're
set him up.
talking dunks and we're still in the Obi Toppin category because we didn't really do anything All-Star, Obi got robbed of the All-Star dunk champ.
Yeah, that kiss on the rim was fucking BS. Number one,
He
he
got
didn't
robbed,
fucking
man.
hit the rim.
Listen, none of the dunks were that cool.
When you're 6'2",
What's the
and
time
you
marker?
got a dunk, and you're in a dunk contest, it makes it look way more cooler dunking the ball at that shorter height. Obi Toppin's 6'9". He's more of a power dunker. It looks like so much easier for him to dunk the ball. But Obi's dunk was way more better. That windmill, crazy.
The between the legs dunk. It's because Obi made it look easy. All the stuff he did looked easy.
He was like 14 foot away from the rim when he jumped. That was insane.
Bro, he dunked over two dudes. The other guy, so the guy who won, I forget, what's his fucking name? I don't even know his name.
Cassius Stanley.
Cassius Clay, what's his name, kept saying that on during the dunk contest.
Oh, yeah.
He did, like, I get if you kiss the rim.
It's really sad that Obi Toppin lost to Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali
Simons
dead.
won, not Cassius Stanley, guys.
Bro, throw a mouthpiece in and commit to kissing that rim. I don't know. That just they should consider like just getting rid of the dunk contest next year.
Dunk contest is fucking dead.
I think it is dead, especially with the way they did it this year. I mean, doing in the halftime was trash. I think I have an idea for the dunk contest. You actually have assigned dunks that you have every single player do.
Like horse.
Right. It's like you do this dunk in the first
dunk
round.
horse. That's such a better idea. Give us some money, NBA.
Exactly.
No, how about just offer these players $1 million and then they'll really go and we're a multi-trillion-dollar business. Well, not we, but the NBA is a multi-trillion-dollar business. You can't get.
I was like, Angelo, I don't know how good your Family Dollar is doing.
Wait,
they don't definitely throw more money over.
They don't.
No, they don't
Get
pay.
paid. They don't give nothing for that.
No.
Nah. Why even do it?
Why do it?
For exposure, I don't know.
Endorsements, this and that. Come on. If you gave LeBron James in his early careers on the Cavaliers $1 million, like the dunk contest never would have went anywhere.
I think you give LeBron $1 million now to do it. He's like, fuck it, let's do it.
I don't think he'll do it at this point. Who the hell cares?
I think to bring the dunk contest back next year, get in All-Stars. Like, give us what we want to fucking see.
Vin, I think we should get paid for giving them the dunk horse idea. Honestly.
Yeah, for real. NBA, we got this time stamped. We'll
dunk horse.
They'll come at us first. We're like, no podcast.
Yeah, forget that.
No, but I'm saying, all right, aside from all that shit, like the money, the dunk quality, let's say they just put big names in there. I'd much rather watch that.
They're not getting paid.
Anthony Simmons.
Nobody's gonna go. They got to get rid of the dunk contest. They got to get rid of the
skills challenge is ridiculous. Why? Just why?
It's also the 3-point contest is the only thing worth watching anymore. And it's because the stars that are good at threes, they're not worried about getting hurt. Like Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, Devin Booker, they're not like, I'm going to sprain an ankle shooting a 3-pointer. Dudes are like, I'm going to dunk and try to kiss the rim and not knock my teeth out. I'm out for 3 weeks. Like, forget that.
Yeah, word. I mean,
never in my life would I thought.
Listen, if the guy kissed the rim, that would have been iconic. You would have seen pictures of that all over.
Yeah, I mean,
and Cassius Stanley, his first dunk should have been a 50.
I forget what it was, but I remember them giving it 9. I think it was like mostly 9.
Oh no,
right?
we're messing up. Anthony Simons won, and Cassius Stanley was the one that had the 50 dunk. Yeah,
way through.
Fuck the same dude. Fuck both of them.
It wasn't Obi. God damn it! I don't even like Obi that much, and it wasn't Obi.
Obi deserved it. Obi, you're the people's dunk
He's
champ.
coming back next year. No worries.
The people's dunk champ. Don't worry, pal.
He should. Dunkers Delight Jr.
Let's go into Elfrid Payton and RJ Barrett.
Well, let me do we'll talk about the Thunder game first because that will work its way into.
You got it.
So the Knicks, after starting at 0-1 after the break, lost to the Bucks. It was trash. We all know that. They beat the Thunder yesterday because today is Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday.
Great game.
Hashtag
for Knicks fans.
daysoftheweek.com. 119-97. Holding a team under 100 points again, which is always a Tom Thibodeau special.
And getting us over 500 again.
Again, stay over 500, baby. Julius Randle, second triple-double of the season, 26, 12, and 12. The first man since Mark Jackson in 1989 and 1990 on the New York Knickerbockers to have multiple triple-doubles in one season.
Which is ridiculous.
Vin, what else happened in 1989 and 1990?
The Menendez brothers were caught on a basketball court after killing their parents behind Mark Jackson. We actually have a video of that on our YouTube. You want to check that out?
Check that out. YouTube.com, Big Nick Energy. Twitter.
We're learning Instagram, here, guys. We're learning how to market.
And TikTok. You're welcome. Big Nick Energy. Keep looking us up everywhere. Like and subscribe. Also, shout out to the guy up the road, Commerce Drive in Shelton, Connecticut. This man at the Starbucks gave me 2 free things today because he saw the shirt, say he's going to listen to the podcast. Told him about the first episode being with Jared Jeffries.
What's up, bro?
Also a tease. Check that shit out. Free stuff from Starbucks. Go on Commerce Drive in Shelton, Connecticut. You won't get it. I will, though. Anyway, so check out the Menendez.
Guess we do commercials now.
Yeah. RJ, so Ben, you were talking about Rowan Barrett at the beginning of this.
My guy, I love him. He put up, it was 32 points, career game, 3 assists, 5 rebounds.
12 of 21 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 2 games in a row, over 50% shooting and at 50% from 3. I like where this man's going. Angela, what was the guy's name that's training him before?
Drew Hanlen.
Drew Hanlen, you are my guy.
Yeah, take back what I said, Drew.
My guy.
I'm so fucking tired of the RJ Barrett slander. He didn't make the rookie team last year. I'm tired of it, right? We shitted on him. Everybody shitted on him last year, saying Tyler Hero was better, John Morant is better. Zion's probably better. John Morant, I don't know. We'll see. But like all these guys, they compared to RJ Barrett. They're not better than him. Nobody. There's not 3 guys in that draft that are better than him.
I think they're the same ballpark. I wouldn't say any is exponential.
Zion is head and
Zion's the only one that's obviously.
Tyler Hero, no shot. If you watch the games, I don't think that anymore. Last year, maybe he was better as a rookie.
Bubble. It was a different environment too, man.
John Morant. I think John Morant still is a little better than RJ, but I think RJ honestly can definitely get to where John Morant is. Also, one of the best abilities is availability, and Zion Williamson and John Morant ain't always available. Last I checked, RJ does not miss a goddamn game, and these dudes miss games.
Joey
all the
time. Jinx.
Knocked on wood. I'm Irish and Italian. It counts. Everyone heard it here first.
Yo, while we're on this, Joe, how'd you get your nickname? Joey Yoke.
Joe Yoke. Well, let me say last thing real quick because I have a song for you. Because Emmanuel quickly, with 33 minutes off the bench against the Thunder after Frankie Smoke struggled in his limited action. We're going to have to trade Frankie at this point, boys. It's a lost cause. I miss Frank Ntilikina, Frankie Smokes, the Frenchman. My first name is Francis, which means Frenchman in Italian, old school.
Yeah, guys, his name's not even Joe.
Oh, we were just on
everybody.
We were just on the Frank Hive.
I know, but
dude,
I love defense and I love Frank playing defense, but you can't shoot, you can't run an offense, and you can't score, and that's how you win games. Last I checked,
bro. But you gotta. How do you get rid of him when you don't play? This guy. You're like, oh yeah, Frankie Smokes. Come on, play this game, and then Joey after one game, you're like, fuck this guy. He couldn't produce, but he hasn't played any games.
Yeah, but dude, Angelo said this before the podcast. Kevin Knox takes 1-3 every 3 days and makes them all. Quickly had 21 points on 16 shots.
All right, yo, is Kevin Knox better? Is Kevin Knox better than Elfrid?
No, maybe. 3 for 8 from 3. This man had 4 dimes, 2 teammates, 3 rebounds, 2 fucking steals, and 1 turnover to the other team.
Who is this?
That was Emmanuel Quigley's game last game. You're welcome. Back to the Joe Yoke thing.
Going on.
You're like,
his name is Francis. legally, folks.
My middle name is Joseph, though, so it is Joe. Joe Yoke came from in 8th grade. Vin and I have been boys for a long time in a land far, far away from here. It's called Newburgh. We went to a party this one day, but before the party, it was at our boys' house, and I was watching one of our boys like skateboard because I hated skateboarding. I was playing basketball with skateboarding, and I took a break to watch, and I sat on a curb, and on the curb where I sat, there was a nest with robin's eggs in it, and I sat on the nest without paying attention.
Slaughtered that family.
I got egg yolk from 3 robin's eggs on my butt, and they called me Joe Yoke the rest of the night, and that's how my name came. I sat on robin's eggs in 8th grade. Joe Yoke. There you go.
He's been cracking eggs ever since.
Yo, Joe, like
cracking eggs.
Everybody in my neighborhood that follows me on Breakneck Energy loves you. Everything.
Let's go.
Yeah, I saw one of your boys was like, "Thanks for putting on some Knicks gear, Joe." I loved it.
He was so happy. He was so happy. He texted me. He was like, "I'm so happy for Joe." I said,
what's his name? We gotta shout him out.
Oh
Nicky Bugger. Nicky Bugger. He's a legend in my neighborhood. He just kills animals. I mean, not animals. He kills bugs.
Oh,
Let's edit that
bugs.
part. Let's edit that part.
Let's definitely. All right, edit what we said. Edit what you said before, and definitely edit one of your friends killing.
I'm not
animals.
making this many chops, bro.
You don't have a choice. We'll never get big, man. If you don't.
They want to get to know our personalities. That's the whole point of this.
Right.
He kills rats and mices and ants.
Oh, he's an exterminator. All right, cool.
We appreciate you. Thank you for your hard work.
Big Nick Energy. We're broadcasting for your.
This is just the commercial pod.
Yeah,
Podcast 3, the commercial pod.
We're doing Starbucks for no reason. We're doing exterminators that Angelo knows. But follow and subscribe us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. But also, someone give us some ad money, baby.
Yeah, fuck. Those ones were free. Next one.
Yeah. God. Moving on, guys.
Did you cover the Elfrid Payton assist to our man? Ron?
Oh, so oddly enough, RJ Barrett, first 30-point game in his career, who was not in the game.
Elfrid.
Wild. It's
Elf
crazy.
on the shelf, bro.
Elf on the shelf. It's wild how he was on the shelf.
I love when the elf is on the shelf.
Oh my God, me too, man. Quickly got 33 minutes because Elfrid wasn't out there. Derrick Rose also wasn't out there, which we could have used against the Bucks, but Elfrid wasn't out there.
Bro,
and this man got 32.
Wait, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 guys score in the double digits without Elfrid Payton. There's a stat.
There you go. Here, where's the Elfrid Payton stat that I have on here? So it was posted by Schwinny Poo, I believe, on Twitter. RJ Barrett has played in 1,227 minutes coming into the game against the Bucks on Thursday. 842 of those have come with Elf on the Shelf Payton, the team's starting point guard. Elf has assisted 18. Elf has assisted RJ Barrett 18 times in 842 combined minutes.
Say that again.
That is 1 assist every 46 minutes and 47 seconds of shared game action.
Repeat it. You need to burn that into people's heads.
18 assists in 842 shared minutes.
And how many assists per game is that?
Less than 1. That's like 0.4.
So RJ Barrett is getting less than 1 assist per game statistically from Elfrid Payton.
Once every 2 games, 2-ish games, our starting point guard gives
this is based on minutes per game, not full game minutes. Based on how many minutes RJ plays.
Their starting point guard gives our second best scorer on the team 1 assist every 2 games.
I'm going to make an assumption and say that Elfrid Payton possibly is in RJ Barrett's girls' DMs.
All right. So we don't have inside intel. That is 100% speculation. I was saying before that Elf
maybe
plays
Elfrid is just like a dick. You know,
I was gonna say, so you know the guys, we all played basketball sometime or another, not professionally, we're not that good. Angelo was probably the best, and he's only 5'9", I'm 5'8". Vin's tall and stupid. I don't even know how he didn't play well. But,
dude, I used the air ball free throws.
Yes,
on the modified team.
Facts. That is a thing, and he's been 6'4" the whole time.
My whole life. I came out of my mother like this.
Beard and all.
Like, let's get back to this Elfrid RJ thing. It's like, is Thibodeau seeing what everybody else is seeing when you have a point guard that's able to penetrate and cause the defense to collapse, and when you have a guard that's a threat on the pick and roll to shoot beyond the paint area that it just opens everybody else's game up. It's not like a brain scientist needs to see what everybody else is seeing. It's like quickly opens up the floor for RJ Barrett. I mean, it's simple.
All right, so I got some numbers for you right here.
I was going to say, real
Alfred
quick.
started his career in 2015. That year he averaged 6.5 assists. Going to the next year, 6.4. The following year, 6.5. Following year, 6.2. So he's been in the 6 range, right? And then after that, he had a boost in assist, 7.6, 7.2. He comes to New York and he's averaging 3.7 assists.
He's been on 1-year contracts.
No, it was with the Magic most of the time.
He was in Orlando for 3 years.
Phoenix.
Went back to Orlando, Phoenix, Pelicans, then the Knicks for 2 years. So even last year with the Knicks, he was averaging 7.2 assists. So maybe that has something to do with just the system. It doesn't work for him.
I think I actually think so. The point I was going to make before about playing basketball and shit was that Elfrid Payton plays like if it's 5-on-5, he plays like 2 of the guys on his team or one guy on his team is his best friend, and he doesn't really know the other 3 guys, so he just doesn't pass them the ball. He got assists in Orlando through Vucevic. He got assists in New York last year through Randall, and it's like those guys are big guys and they can catch the ball deep and score pretty easily.
What I don't
Those are
understand
easy
is why
assists.
Tibbs has plays written up for this guy to shoot threes, corner threes. Like there are multiple plays written up for Elfrid Payton to shoot.
He actually has been doing better on the corner 3 recently.
Let's see what is right here. So
I'm not looking up stats right now. The eye test says in the past couple of weeks, Elfrid Payton's been shooting better corner 3s. Granted, he's the only dude I'll ever watch play and like drive to the basket, and I'm like, oh, don't put up an easy layup.
He's averaging 12 points per game right now.
Yeah, on like 10 shots, which is terrible efficiencies.
Yeah, there's like some games where he's like the second leading with attempts. We don't need like we
have guys who are better.
Yeah, we don't need him to be that kind of scorer.
I would
compute and play defense.
Would you rather have Bullock take his shots? I personally would.
I'd rather have Burks than Quickly.
Barrett, Quickly, and Burks. I mean,
Quickly does get a lot of looks. You gotta. It's probably up there. It's tough. I think it's without pulling it up. I'm gonna assume it's very close to what Elfrid gets. He shoots a lot. Quickly shoots a lot.
He does. I mean, he has a quick trigger and like he's trigger happy and like yeah.
Well, like
I mean, it is what it is.
He initiates the second offense. I mean, he's the main guy coming off the bench. Really, him and Burks.
I don't know. Every time I see fucking Elfrid Payton put up 14 points on 12 shots or 13 shots or 18 points on 16 shots, I'm like, yo,
and it's
take
like
half as many shots as you're taking. Half.
And it's like whenever he has a good game, like I'll go on Twitter and everybody's like, fuck you, Elfrid. Fuck you, all you people who shit on Elfrid. And it's like, dude, he had 21 points on 19 shots. That's considered a good game for Elfrid Payton. Come on.
He was
that's
an all rookie.
Inefficient.
All right. So referencing back to Into the Spider-Verse's concept of what it takes to build a championship team, you need a lot of all rookies. I like this guy's concept on a championship winning team.
Just so everyone knows that's watching this dude, just know that this dude has Spider-Man everywhere. That's why I keep saying Spider-Verse and not Knicks-verse.
Is it Spider-Verse?
It's Into the Knicks-verse.
Whatever it is. So Elfrid was a 2014, 2015 all rookie. So maybe there's some untapped potential that Tibbs sees in practice and shit that we don't see.
I'm over his defense being a plus, man. Honestly, it's like he doesn't initiate the offense well. Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, Emmanuel Quickly are all better guards on our bench.
So maybe the situation going on in New York is that there's no buyers. Nobody wants these guys, and then there's no other point guards that are like. There's nobody worth coming in that is better than these guys.
I think it's crazy that Rivers is rotting on the bench, and I think of Rivers and Payne kind of like in different ways, like a comparable player. Rivers is a slightly better scorer. Payne's like slightly better at defense, but they're both like not necessarily pieces you need for a developing team for where we want to be. And Rivers is rotting on the bench, and Payne gets 30 minutes a game.
It's crazy that you said that. Why?
Right. It's like the same
when
thing.
They said that Derrick Rose and Elfrid were
other?
out. I didn't even think about Rivers. I was like,
Rivers
Quickly.
was also out. He had another kid.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
So in my head, I was just like Frank and Quickly. That's what we got.
Yeah.
And you think with like the way Rivers was talking with his whole entire chest at the beginning of the season that he would still be in the rotation and the main piece. He's just falling off.
How much did we pay him, Joe? Do you know off the top?
It's a 3-year, $10 million deal, but I mean, it's really just a trade.
Deal.
Yeah, it's
a great deal, and he was like the leader at the beginning of the year. Like he was the one. He was the one that was saying all the right things to the media, and he played good like those few games versus the Jazz where he looked like Michael Jordan against the Jazz. But ever since then, I mean, he had.
Well, you know what the good thing is though about this whole situation? You don't hear shit coming out from the Knicks organization about why, who, what. And we're not used to that. We're so used to why, and these coaches answering us and telling us like what's going on.
We're also so used to players actually complaining about their coach, and even Rivers, who is a vet in the league and probably wants a shit ton of playing time, and he's not getting it, is not someone that's like, yo, fuck Tibbs or anything like that. And in the past couple of years, Mike Miller would be trashed on, Jeff Hornacek would be trashed on. I always forget the one dude's name that was here the longest. Why? Derek Fisher.
I think the locker room is great. Like you said, we got Worldwide West, we got Woodson, like
Leon Rose, Allen Houston.
We could argue and say that the Knicks' biggest additions weren't even the ones that are on the court. We could argue and say that William Wesley, who's like rapped about in Drake's songs. Kenny. I
learned the game from William Wesley. You could never check.
Facts. Kenny Payne, obviously Kentucky alumni. He was with Calipari for all these years, and obviously we got all this Kentucky CAA collaboration going on. We got Noel.
Yeah. Dude, Calipari, you know Calipari's on the phone.
Yeah, Calipari is definitely the next head coach, by the way.
That's so bold. I would.
In another like 5,
that
6
dude, that dude probably makes way more in Kentucky than he ever will in the NBA.
I don't think he wants to ruin his career either,
man. He talks way too much about the Knicks for him not to be the next.
He talks about his guys, man.
Yeah,
he's not talking about the Knicks. He's talking about his guys.
The Knicks are just professional Wildcats. That's why he talks about them.
He loves his guys.
We brought back Mr. Potato Head Mike Woodson.
Love him. Dude, that was the glory day for guys that weren't like really active during the Ewing era. Like I just turned 30. We're all around the same age range. Our like golden era where we were actually like able to comprehend what was happening was the Mike Woodson Mello era. Like that was our shit.
Exactly.
So like our development of these coaches or bringing upon these coaches might have been the biggest asset to the Knicks this offseason, because I always talk about it with my friends how I might be able to argue that last year's team might be just as talented as this year's team. Like we had Marcus Morris. He was like almost a 20-point scorer if he was a 20-point scorer. We had
the whole beef with last year is that the kids, that was the reason for this. The kids got no burn.
We got Tibbs now as well, but I'm saying like you could argue like there was players on last year's team that, you know, as a whole, I think we were more talented last year. It's just that the system we implemented, the guys all these front office hires, Alex Klein, Block Arler, all these kinds of guys we want.
Damian Dotson, I was kind of upset that we got rid of him. I don't think that he had a solid chance on the Knicks. I just think that so many coaches like this guy, could have been our replacement 3-point shooter. This could have been our 3 guy.
When it comes to smalls and wings and stuff, though, like Quickly, Burks, and Bullock, who all did not play for us last year, are significantly better than what we had there last year.
Yeah.
Like,
we had Wayne Ellington last year.
Right. Great. Awesome. He's him and Bullock are almost the same, but Bullock plays better defense.
Yep. Bobby Portis is looking really good this year.
Bobby Portis is definitely a big I wish we kept.
Yeah.
Looking at because it's like to have, especially with how much spacing we don't have as a team and having a 5 that can shoot threes and like play decent inside defense, like, for as Nerlens Noel is the number 1 DVOA defender in the league. Think of how crazy that is. And then it's basketballstats.com. You can look at like literally if you just sort it through like only defensive player rating, like it's all the way on the right. He's number 1.
Nerlens Noel is number 3 in blocks in the league right now.
Right, but like he's also like bottom 10 in offensive rating, so he like ends up being like even almost. Bobby Portis, like for what's worth, I think is a better player than Nerlens Noel, and I would rather him, and they're like the similar contract.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I really like that Nerlens Noel is getting burned. I feel like on no team that he's been on, he's really got this much time on the court. I feel like he's becoming somebody. He's like a phenomenal second player behind Mitch.
I don't know if you guys remember, but like he was on Dallas, and I believe he turned down like a very, very large contract offer and kind of bet on himself, and he bit himself.
And he got hurt.
He bit him in the ass, but I don't know if he's on a 1-year deal, Joe, but he's playing himself into a nice contract next year.
Nerlens Noel is an unrestricted free agent this year. Yeah,
dude, I liked when Oklahoma signed him. I've been a Nerlens Noel fan since the jump.
So, Angela, I actually had this idea that I was telling Vin about yesterday at 2 days ago at the bar. I think that I never was part of like an organized basketball team or anything, but like my idea was like to get people to be better at other positions. Like one day in practice, they should have Nerlens Noel against Obi Toppin and have those two dudes run the offense, like 5-on-5 on each side. Nerlens Noel cannot dribble or catch. Obi Toppin is scared to dribble. Make them have the ball the whole time.
Well, Joe, that's like me saying I mean, I understand it, but that would be like, let me play center. Like, you know, you play to your strengths, but like, how can I play to my strengths when I can't physically stand up to guys that would be at that position?
No, so that would be the whole thing. So it's like, if you are a point guard naturally, you are playing inside this whole little. My idea would be like, you're like Emmanuel Quickly and Elfrid Payne are going at it in the paint the whole game. They're not shooting threes. Nerlens Noel is
they're
not
getting the ball
rebounds.
more at practice.
Right.
Basically,
Nerlens
run the
Noel is
offense
not
through
getting
these
the
guys.
ball at getting a rebound. He's
Joe,
getting the ball and dribbling up the
Joe,
field.
you got to think they already do that, man. You
gotta
hope. You got to hope that Obi's getting fucking reps.
Have you ever seen a man catch the ball worse than Nerlens Noel in any sport?
Yeah, he's got balloon fucking hands, bro.
Yeah, he shouldn't have had that popcorn.
And it's crazy because his hands, why isn't there no correlation to having the best hands on defense, one of the best hands in the NBA, and it being fucking atrocious on offense?
Because on defense, you're not grabbing the ball, you're hitting it. And he hits the ball very well. He grabs
he hit us with a little Tyson Chandler swat. Seen that versus Oklahoma last night?
Yeah.
It didn't go to our team, but he did it.
Also, fuck Bobby Portis, by the way. I want to get back onto that. Yeah, because I just thought about it. He trolled the shit out of the Knicks at the beginning of the year. Somebody like tweeted him. He had like a great game. And somebody like tweeted him that was a Knicks fan and was like, oh, why didn't you do that when you were with the Knicks? And he tweeted back, oh, there was too many forwards. And that was like the common theme last year was like we signed like 5 forwards. We signed Taj Gibson. We signed Marcus Morris. We signed
Mitch.
Julius Randle. We had all these guys at the 4 positions. So he trolled the shit out of the Knicks, which, fuck Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis will beat the life out of you. Bobby.
Yeah, no. I got backup though. You guys.
You got no back.
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Bobby Portis would beat the fuck out of all 3 of us.
I don't know if I got 6.
Angelo, you literally can't fight. He would hold me off with like one leg or one hand because I'm so small compared to him, and then he's just knocking Vin out with his other hand.
No, I always imagine like fighting somebody 7 foot tall and them holding the palm of their hand like up against.
That's exactly how I picture it.
Like Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Oh my god. Jesus.
Oh shit. Speaking of fucking, I actually saw Clay Anthony early at Billy Joe's in Newburgh one time. Clay Anthony.
That's so random. Out of
random.
nowhere.
Yeah, we're just talking about seeing someone in person, and I'm thinking,
again, guys. Follow us on Instagram,
at
Twitter, Facebook. Check out the page. There's a Clay Anthony early thing on there for some reason.
Yeah,
Vin made it. We don't really know why.
Wanted to see if you guys would actually watch it. You did.
I wonder why.
But no, listen. So we were at Billy Joe's. This one, Clay Anthony early had just got signed. I had DM'd him a few times, and he had answered. It was back when I was doing the other clothing line. See him at the bar. I say, what's up? I'm there with our buddy Jim and his wife. And Clay Anthony goes, who's that? I'm like, oh, it's my buddy's girlfriend at the time. He's like, tell her to come over here. Our buddy almost fought Clay Anthony early that night. That's why I was going back to you saying a fucking 7-footer holding you by the head.
And our buddy is like close to 6 foot, 5'11", and Clay Anthony early is what, like 6'5", 6'6". The odds would be stacked against them, to say the least.
It just shows they're out here, man. We had Kyle O'Quinn possibly signing back. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it'd be dope. I mean, Mitch gets back in the next like week or two, so I don't really see too much use for Kyle O'Quinn. I feel like it'd just be like Taj Gibson-esque.
I kind of knew it wasn't going to happen only because the timing of it. Like we were going into All-Star break, there was those few days of rest in between, and I know Taj was hurt, and I knew in that time period between when he got hurt and the All-Star break and the first game after the All-Star break, I just figured he would be recovered from a sprained ankle. So. Yeah. I think it was more Kyle O'Quinn's camp pushing that rumor upon Knicks Twitter, which is the biggest thing in the world currently. But I mean, it would have been nice. Hometown New York guy, played hard, great beard, great man.
Great fucking beard.
Great beard, great man. But
that man's who I strive to be.
I saw Kyle in Beacon one time. This was mid-COVID. Me and my friend went out to lunch, and he's sitting there taking a bunch of pictures, and he don't have no mask on. So I opened the window and went, Kyle, come back to New York and put a fucking mask on. I had him cracking up.
Oh my God, that's mad funny. Guys, we've gone off track a little bit about current Knicks and stuff like that, though. Would you rather Would we rather talk about potential trade value and free agents, or would you guys rather me to go off my Julius Randle rant?
Let's go to trade. Let's go
trades.
Let's go trades.
So the Knicks recently, in the past, I don't know, like month or so, a couple names have been thrown out towards us. The biggest one is Victor Oladipo. That seems like the biggest bang for your buck, as well as the most likely to actually happen. Just for those of you that don't know, the deadline is March 25th. We have 5 games left before the deadline. So running out of time if we are going to do anything. Based on the Knicks have so many cheap contracts and cheap 1 year, 2 year contracts.
And a lot of picks.
It's actually, and a shit ton of picks, but because of how cheap the contracts are, it's actually hard for for us to make a lot of trades. Cause it's Oladipo is making 20 something million a year. We'd have to package 3 dudes to send over there.
Wait, couldn't we take him because we have cap room this year?
So it's about both teams. So the Rockets would be going too far under or something. It's you literally have to do it. So really? ESPN has a great trade machine. Most people know about it. Go on ESPN trade machine. If you don't know how salary cap or trades work, literally just mess around with that for 10 minutes using your favorite team and players you'd want to get. And it tells you if a trade works, and if it tells you if a trade doesn't work, why it doesn't work. So one of the ones I did was Victor Oladipo for Knox, Ntilikina, and Rivers. The trade works from a money standpoint. We get close enough. It's all good. But if I'm the Houston Rockets, I don't want Frank Ntilikina. I don't want Austin Rivers. I don't want Kevin Knox. I don't want any of these fucking dudes.
Dude, there's a need for defensive point guards in the league.
Well,
so Joe, Vin, before I was gonna say real quick. So that's the Knick fan mindset right there, where it's maybe that actually doesn't sound that bad. Victor Oladipo is a top 25 player in the league.
But he's also
you need first round picks in that trade.
Joey, he's on an expiring contract. He's been injured a lot the last 2 years. So you got to pick and choose. You're not getting all-star quality from New York or anything that's going to potentially give you all-star quality for this insurance policy we're fucking going to grab. I'm sorry. I don't see it happening.
Do you want to make a push in the playoffs?
That what you just said, maybe take one player out and add a pick. That's what I see.
I don't even think the Rockets would do that deal only because they're in a rebuilding mode. So
it's the idea is that the players will match up, but we would have to give them, in my opinion, 2 first-round picks, honestly, in order for that to actually work.
They're gonna want picks.
Victor Oladipo isn't worth 2 first-round picks. If he wasn't injured, absolutely give it to him. I'll take.
He's not injured right now. If you watch him play the last 3 games, he's averaging 28 points.
I haven't checked him out, but
I can tell.
Past 2 years, he's prone to being hurt, and they're for extended periods.
Yeah, but also past 5 years, he's way better than Ntilikina, Knox, Rivers, or
Victor Oladipo. I got a signed ball from your rookie year. Please come to the Knicks.
What a switch up! Just out of nowhere, I lied. I want you immediately.
I want you, but not for fucking. I don't want to give you the whole beat.
I don't think we watch him enough to really understand the impact that he would have on this Knicks team going forward. He's at I don't know how old he is, 26, 27, 28. He's about to hit.
He's 28. He's going to be 29 at the start of next season.
So he's in the prime of his career. So is it wise for us to
it's one of those, you can do that as a sign and trade. It's they would only make that trade if Oladipo also signed an extension on the trade.
And obviously he's been rumored to come to the Knicks since last year.
Right, exactly.
So there's got to be some interest on both sides.
Oladipo only has Twitter, 2 major trade targets. The Knicks or the Heat are the 2 teams that are hyped the most.
On Twitter, there's been a lot of talk that the Knicks are going to make a blockbuster. It's been stirring.
Goddamn Brian Windhorst making everyone way too hyped up.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, as Knicks fans for this long, we know better. We think we're going to get everybody.
That's true. Yeah, well, then not only do Knicks fans think they're going to get everybody, they're kind of like you, where they're we're going to get everyone, and we're going to give them Kevin Knox, and they'll be okay with it.
The way I think the NBA works is how I think fantasy basketball works.
Yeah, you're no shot, not even a little bit.
You take an owner of the bar, get him drunk. You're you want to make this trade?
The other most hyped name out of players that seem like it could potentially happen will be Evan Fournier. Very similar to Oladipo.
I'm against that.
Position.
My opinion on that is if Evan Fournier comes, he doesn't make us better or worse. We stay just about the same.
Would you rather give Evan Fournier a combination of Reggie Bullock's and Elfrid Payne's minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually going to say that to Victor Oladipo. I was going to bring up who gets those looks, who loses looks if Victor Oladipo comes to the team. Does RJ still get those looks? Randall obviously will.
RJ and Randall are playing 35 minutes a game the whole year, regardless of who we're getting. If anything, Oladipo would probably fall in the Rose to RJ range of minutes, because Oladipo does have an injury history, but he only needs 28 to 30 minutes a game to make a major impact.
So then we're taking away Bullock's numbers. We're taking away Alfred. Hopefully he leaves the team in a trade, and that's not an issue.
That's all at this point. Like, I feel like Alfred literally just keeps playing his value lower and lower. The Knicks look too good when he doesn't play. And also when he does play, he has one good game out of 10. So it's like kind of losing shit there. But yeah, so it's like Rose, quickly, if for the guards that I would want to play the most, Rose, quickly, Burks, Bullock, right? And then you avoid Payton, Austin Rivers, so be it, whatever. Neil Keena, I'm sorry, man. I love you, but I hate you at this point. It is what it is. Like, so Oladipo is going to eating into one or two of those guys, 4 guys minutes, but they can all still get 26 to 28 minutes a game. There is even lines where you can go small and have Randall. Imagine this. Emmanuel Quickly, Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett. That's a small ball, offensive-minded, crazy lineup. You could have Rose or Quickly in doing the same thing, basically. So it's a small ball offensive headache for any team out there. Are you giving up boards? Sure. RJ Barrett's a good boarder for his size. Julius
We
Randle's
already
a great
don't get
rebounder.
many boards, so
Right. We're great at defense and not the best at defensive rebounds. So it's like without Robinson, Gibson, or Noel out there, it's like you are giving up a little bit, but your offensive scoring just goes up so high.
Yeah.
That's why I want Oladipo. And I know you don't like Fournier. Very similar player, averages 17, 7, and 4. Like extremely useful person. Instant offense, exactly. And he can hold his own on defense. Does he get blown by smaller, faster guys? Yeah.
He'd also be paired up with his fellow French friend, Frank, if he's not part of the deal.
I would say, honestly, I think most deals involve Frank at this point.
So Victor Oladipo right now is shooting 38% from the field goal.
He's forced to take a lot more shots than he should because of how bad their team is.
He's taking 19 attempts a game.
He would not have to do that on our team. Imagine
he's getting 32 minutes currently. His 2-point percentage is 0.43%.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Free throw percentage is 77%. That's great.
What's his 3-pointers? I'm not worried about overall field goals. I'm worried about 3-point field goals.
Percentage is at 30%.
So
it doesn't really help us in the 3-point category. I'm thinking
a lot of that. He is naturally better. Look at his career numbers. It's higher than 30%, though, is it not?
Yeah, there's no.
No, it's roughly in this range. It doesn't go over 40%. It doesn't even get to 40 in his career.
Well, no, what's he usually at? 35, 36, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
He hasn't had a good point guard. Not that we have one, but
he used to have Alfred Payne as his point guard. Think about that.
You said Westbrook, who was getting triple doubles out the ass, and he got moved for Westbrook, didn't he?
No, they were never on the same team. He used to have Alfred Payne. He played with Alfred Payne in Orlando.
He
did, yeah, and that's when Alfred Payne was getting 7.5 assists.
Right. So think of it this way: Evan Fournier gets 19 shots a game right now on a team that's trash. It's him and Vucevic. So the rest of their starting offense doesn't really score too much. It's a 2-man game for 2 men that are okay. They could both be like 3rd or 4th pieces on a better team, but they shouldn't be where they are.
Yeah, Oladipo's averaging 20 points a game. Obviously, bringing Victor Oladipo to the team will make us better. Will make our playoff push better. Probably draw a superstar in the offseason.
I think Fournier would too. Not as much, but I think it would too. I know you downgrade him though.
Yeah, my grade for Fournier is not needed for the Knicks. It's pick up a free agent, and then in the offseason that will equal that. I'm not a big Fournier guy.
So then I would say the next highest or most likely, just based on availability towards the Knicks and potential usefulness. Not LaMarcus Aldridge, not Kyle Lowry, although both those guys would be cool for obvious reasons, specifically Kyle Lowry. But there's
got Kyle Lowry for a bag of potato chips
way back in the day. Kyle Lowry is making $30 million a year, by the way. In order to actually make that trade work, you have to have three guys on the team, 3 guys in the trade from the team. You need to send them draft picks because literally they don't want any of the guys we're sending. So we're sending 2 or 3 picks.
I've never been big on Kyle Lowry. I think Kyle Lowry was worth the
Iman Shumpert
then.
Wild.
I'm not a big Kyle guy.
Championship.
He won a championship as the 2nd best player on the team. 3rd best player on the team.
Kawhi Leonard won a championship.
Did you watch those finals? Did you?
Know how many times did Toronto make it with DeMar, and he didn't do shit? Kawhi Leonard made that championship. Please, Joe.
Right? No, Kawhi Leonard is way better.
Kyle
than
Lowry could have got hurt, and they still would have won that fucking game. Please.
That's not true.
Let's not go down the Kyle Lowry path. Fuck Toronto.
Whatever. Anyway, so the point was the guy I was going to say is most available. Your Kyle Lowry analysis is trash. But it's Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball.
We talked about this. We talked about this weekend. I'm big on Lonzo coming in.
It actually sucks for the Knicks that Lonzo Ball is actually doing better right now because his value keeps going up and up. His 3-point percentage has gone up, and now it's you would have to send them a first-round pick or two because of how good he's looking. Also, he's only a restricted free agent, not an unrestricted free agent, so they'd still have rights to get him easier. So it's like Lonzo Ball not making that much money would be an instant upgrade at point guard and has been making the three for the second half of the year. Unfortunately, most likely not going to happen. But
do you think he's worth a first pick?
Sign and trade for sure. As long as you
agree.
guarantee.
I think he's down a first pick. He's worth a first pick and maybe some players.
They all need to involve players just strictly from a salary cap standpoint. Like
I'm saying somebody even like worth it. Like, all right, if we're talking Knox, if we're talking Rivers, if we're talking
our best players that would be worth it for trade are Burks or Bullock.
I would even probably package Frank.
If it meant getting Lonzo Ball, I'll take his horrible brother Jello Ball on the Knicks as well.
I think we did that once with Chris Smith. I think
Ben,
we
do you want to tell the listeners?
I think
about
we're
Chris
the
Smith?
reason. I think we're the reason Chris Smith doesn't like the Knicks. I don't think it has anything to do with how
Ben,
they
do you want
treated
to tell
RJ.
people about the old Twitter
JR?
beef we had with Chris Smith?
I don't want to. You can.
I don't even remember the whole story, man. It was
All right,
mostly
so
you. I just jumped in.
Angelo remembers. We were fucking
No.
talking back in the day. We had somewhat of a relationship.
This
with,
is like 2013, 2014. It was a while ago.
we had somewhat of a relationship with J.R. Smith and one of his buddies, his rapper, Craze Cologne. J.R. Smith wants nothing to fucking do with fan clothing, as Angelo could tell you. But somehow, because we were talking to Craze, Chris Smith wasn't that relevant. So he was tweeting back to us, and then we just teamed up on this motherfucker. There was like 4 or 5 of us tweeting at him in the same argument, telling him he's a piece of shit. He doesn't deserve his contract.
He's trash. He's in the NBA because his brother's there. Like literally all bad stuff.
He didn't deserve it.
In the end, guys, he probably laughed at all of us. So
Yeah, he got paid.
fucking matter.
Yeah, he got paid out.
He got paid ish. He made like $1 million total.
He got
maybe.
to party with the Henny after championships, 2 championships. Right?
And I'm sure
That's true.
I'm sure he gets a few checks from his older brother every week or month.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
knows? Honestly,
Let's talk about how we're still paying Joakim Noah.
do we have to? I feel like it's pretty known.
I don't think a lot of people remember this. We are still. I think we're in the last year of paying out Joakim Noah.
Knicks payroll for players. We're gonna hear me Google stuff.
Don't worry, I'll cut this weird shit
Oh
out.
yeah, this weird shit. What are we at time stamp wise?
When do we start?
I'm asking you that.
I think we're 45 minutes in.
Nice. All right. So, it doesn't even say his name on here. Where the fuck is the cash?
What else do you have for topics? Let's just do the last one. Fucking.
The last one is just going to preview the next 2 games and how we're kind of lucky with what the Nets and Sixers are looking like.
All right, ready? 3, 2.
Hold on a second, I found it.
Okay.
So in dead cash money, the Knicks are paying Joakim Noah $6.4 million this year. Also in dead cash money, just so everyone remembers for if they want to, Jacob Evans, I don't even know who that is. He's making $2 million. Amari Spellman, I kind of know who that is. Also making $2 million.
Isn't he on the Cavs?
Yeah, Dennis Smith Jr.
We owe him money?
Yeah. Dennis Smith Jr., we're paying 1.8 mil still. Wayne Ellington, we got $1 million.
Dennis Smith is getting paid.
I mean, he played on the team for most of the year. That makes sense.
Yo,
Wayne Ellington, $1 million. Taj Gibson, $1 million. Alfred Payne, $1 million.
Wait, so we're paying Taj on top of his contract?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy, like, being a player for, like, another team and you're getting another check from another? Like, just looking at that check and it's like James Dolan, Knicks logo. It's like Joakim Noah is still getting checks from James Dolan, bro. I always, like, was so enamored with, like, players who go to another team, yet they're still getting a check from another team. That's got to be, like, a great feeling to get.
What is veterans minimum?
Isn't it like 580,000 or some shit?
Joakim Noah, you owe us some fucking minutes, my guy.
Joakim Noah should basically be suiting up with the Knicks for free right now.
No, I've seen him. He's just vacationing.
Yeah, of course he is.
Spending our money,
Just
going to the beach and shit. Joakim, you owe us some minutes.
He's not. Do you want him out there? What are you saying?
You owe us some minutes. Do us on the practice court. I don't give a fuck. Work with Obi. You owe us minutes.
Jesus Christ. Do you know how much longer Bobby Bonilla gets paid, by the way?
No.
It's until 2035.
What about Romelu Lukaku?
Romelu Lukaku, exactly. That dude still plays the sport though. Bobby Bonilla, man. I wish I was getting $1 million to not do shit till I was 73 years old. That's the dream, honestly.
So we got 2 games coming up, Joe.
We do. Well, we have a lot of games coming up, but the 2 closest to where we're at. We're playing the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow, which is Monday, because today's Sunday.
I don't even watch that, man.
No, so hear this out. So we got some good news. So we're on a back-to-back. So we're playing the Nets tomorrow, and then we're playing Philly on Tuesday. The great news about this, Kevin Durant, he ain't out there. So we got a chance. They still have Kyrie Irving, James Harden. I get that. I understand.
And Blake Griffin.
Is he playing?
Yeah.
No, he's not playing yet.
He was
Also,
just
who the
practice
fuck
with them
cares?
yesterday.
He's not even playing it. Also, did you watch him play the past 3 years? The dude's gonna die.
Blake Griffin looked great last year.
Blake Griffin tore his ACL in his arm. That's how much he gets hurt.
Blake Griffin looked great last year on the Pistons.
Yeah, for
Take that
4
away
minutes
from him.
for 4 minutes a game.
Don't worry, it's someone. He's gonna have his career revived. He's playing with
Blake
All-Stars.
Griffin's gonna come back to the Nets, and you're gonna see him catching lobs from Kyrie. And
That's
we're
what
gonna
I'm saying. He's gonna be
fuck?
revived, man.
You're gonna be like, yo, James Harden came from the Rockets, 300 pounds overweight. After one game with the Nets, he
One flight.
He looked like 100.
One flight. He didn't eat for 20. He didn't eat for a 3-hour plane ride and lost 20 pounds.
No, after his first game, the next he was back to his normal playing weight. We're gonna see like Blake Griffin. He's gonna be like 2015 Blake Griffin. He'll be catching lobs from Kyrie. DeAndre Jordan's gonna be throwing him.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, as a Knicks fan on the bright side, neither KD and Blake are not out there tomorrow. So
Don't worry.
better
Don't worry.
chance.
We'll be looking out our window at the parade this year.
Yeah, it'll be sad. Also, Philly, another great team. There is no Joel Embiid, which, by the way, with everyone
Dude, that
saying that
injury
Joel
was
Embiid,
scary.
with
Did you
everyone
watch
saying-
that injury before?
I did not, because I hate watching that crap.
Dude, it looked scary. It looked like he tore his fucking knee up, man.
He's only out for a couple weeks though.
Yeah.
It was a hyperextension, thank God.
So Joel Embiid, which, by the way, I feel like talking about jinxes and stuff before have been. Everyone was saying Embiid like almost a lock for the MVP at this point. He passed LeBron in odds going into the second half of the year. Immediately gets hurt. If that ain't karma or jinxing or anything, then I don't know what is.
I think he'll come back and still have a chance at it.
He does still have a chance at it. He's going to miss 2 weeks, which is only a few games. But in that 2 weeks, the Knicks play Philly twice. We're playing Philly twice with no Embiid, which helps.
Will Mitch be back by then?
Probably not. It might be close because it's Sunday. The second game's next Sunday.
Okay.
So
I'd love to
it's
see
touch.
Mitch back with no Joel Embiid and just go to work.
Dude, I want to see Mitch versus Embiid in the playoffs. Even if they beat us like 4-1, 4-2, like would be expected. Like I would love to see. Mitch and Embiid is like a good offensive defensive matchup.
What's your prediction for us? You think we're doing the play-ins or we're going to straight up make it?
I think we're getting the play on. I think we're going to make the plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miami looks way too good.
Ange?
Miami flew past us and stuff.
It's so weird the way this year could just turn out, bro. There's so many different variables with this COVID shit, bro. Like, I'm so happy with the way Knicks are playing, and like, it's just like, yo, if you get like 2 guys sick with COVID, like, God forbid Randall gets COVID, bro. Like, bro, that's like 3-4 games out. 3-4 games. If you lose like 3 out of those 4 games right now, like, we're in bad shape. Like, there's so many different things that could happen this year. Obviously, I really do think we're gonna make the playoffs. I really
Guys, think of the good news. If Randall's out, we get to see more Obi Toppin. Isn't that what every Knicks fan wants?
No. I think we're gonna make the playoffs. I don't know if it's play-in or not, but you know,
I wonder if these guys are getting COVID shots, the vaccine.
I think that's
they're giving restaurant.
They made it optional. They made it optional for the NBA. Made it optional for players, but I can't imagine why most of them would or wouldn't. The thing is, I know a few people that have gotten the vaccine. After the second shot, a lot of them felt like really, really sick the next day.
Yeah, I heard, but it's only like 2 days.
Yeah.
My mom got it. My dad got it. My dad said his arm was like killing him after the first day.
Yeah, it's like a tetanus shot though, or whatever. If you ever get a tetanus shot, you get a little bruise.
My mom got it twice because she works in school, but I think she's fine. Obviously.
Yeah, you got to think these guys are in tip-top shape too, man.
So the games this week, by the way, like I said, we got Brooklyn Monday, we got Philly Tuesday, we got Orlando Thursday, and we got Philly Sunday. If we can end up going 2-2 out of these 4 games somehow, some way, the same way we went 1-1 in the first ones, if we went into the All-Star break like, oh my God, the first 5th hardest like schedule, this is trash, the NBA hates New York, blah blah. And like we get like lucked out on the injury bug. We miss a couple of the best players. We end up like still at or above 500 2 to 3 weeks from now. We're in really solid shape, and I greatly appreciate that.
You know what, Joe? I think that this team, even going against Philly and Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure we lost to Philly at the beginning of the year. We obviously got smoked by Brooklyn in the beginning of the year. I think this team as a whole, they really believe they could go out and win every night.
I
think
say that this Knicks team plays their talent. So you'll see the Knicks lose against teams that they should lose against because they're not playing like they're playing against a top tier team. I kind of feel like
I thought that way too until the Bucks
changing.
game.
I do see that changing though, because we've had some games that we should have lost.
Yeah,
and we've won. So that showed me like, okay, the mindset going in against Brooklyn, these guys know how serious this shit is.
Yeah.
The first half of the year, I think it was set up that like you had to prove to yourself you can compete with anyone. The second half of the year, because it is a tougher schedule, like if we lose all the games we're expected to lose and we win all the games we're expected to win, we're finishing a couple games below 500, but you are in the play-in tournament. You give yourself a chance, which as a Knicks fan going into the beginning of the year, we didn't think we had a chance. We were like, how do we get rid of Randall? How do we get rid of Payton, which we still want, but whatever. Like we have to clear out as much salary cap to try to have a chance in the future. And players don't want to go to a team that they don't actually see a future in. They don't want to
I was just going to say
the future's not relying on them. They wanted to see it already be happening. And now we actually have that.
You know
what?
what?
I was going to say, like making the play-ins has got to, like even just making the play-ins is a good look for free agency.
For sure.
I compare like our team right now to that Nets team with D'Lo and Karis LeVert, and Kenny Atkinson when they were like in the rebuilding year and they weren't really supposed to be good. And they built that culture.
They got to the 7 seed.
They got to the 7 seed, and next thing you know, a year or two later, KD, Kyrie, and DeAndre Jordan, and everybody's on the team.
Yep. Who's to say down the road we don't package everything and we got a chance for a big three,
I really think like no matter what, they'll take calls on Julius. Like I think like it's just like business procedure, like common standard business procedure. Like, why not listen? I mean,
that's what Chris was talking about. Like, you make these of course you got to listen.
And it's like, it doesn't have to go out to the media every time. That's the problem. Like most of the Knicks stuff in the past 10, 15 years, like anything that ever happened, it was all told to the media. So we couldn't even do like business correctly. Now
I don't even think Julius Randle needs to know if they're taking calls about Julius Randle.
And you know what's crazy?
No player does. You don't need that unless you ask for the trade.
You know what's crazy about this year's team and like the overachievement part of this year's team is that like all these players are on 1-year deals, and well, a lot of them, right? Joe, you know off the top of your head how many?
I got the whole list right here. So the full Knicks 1-year deals are Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks, Taj Gibson, Jared Harper, Neil Keena, and Theo Pinson are all restricted, but I don't think we're going to keep any of them anyway. Nerlens Noel, Elfrid Payton, Mitch Robinson has a team option, and then Derrick Rose.
Well, that's half the team. So like
2/3 of the team, it's most of the team.
Right. So they say like most of these times when these teams have most players on these short deals, it's kind of hard to produce at a higher level because everybody's almost playing for themselves.
Right.
So Tibbs got this team buying in enough to where like they just come in mentally prepared every game, no matter what, is going on as far as trades and
except for our starting point guard.
Yeah, well,
he's making them want to stay too. He's basically making them play for a contract. You want to stay here?
Making
Fucking play. We'll sign you.
Yeah. He's making them play for a contract, but it's all about the team. And being all about the team, it will translate to winning basketball, and it'll translate to those players getting another contract. So
next week we have Anthony MSG on, right? On Thursday?
Yes.
I'm going to talk to him about all the free agent possibilities just because like I want to get his intel as a diehard fan. And like there's so many available and we're going to have so much money. I know like I think we can all agree.
A whole podcast has to go to trades. That's going to be
I think if I was to speak for all of us, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. There's 4 Knicks that we all want to keep one way or another. Julius, RJ, Quickly, and Mitchell Robinson. And then the rest of the team is all like, we're going to have Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson solely because of Thibodeau. But the rest of the team, it's like, we need to find a superstar or another superstar.
Oh yeah, I'm in on
all of
Obi
those
too. I'm not done with Obi
yet. I'm all in on the Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, Thibodeau trio, only because I really think bringing those guys in, they really get to explain to these kids that, this is the way Tibbs does things. This is, we're going to go about We're going to go about business correctly every day. We're going to practice hard. It's just about culture. And right now it's the first year of really defining our culture. So having those three at the top of the helm, not producing wise and production wise, but just being there is so important to this team going forward.
Did you know the Knicks don't have a captain? There's no.
Yeah, they never made it Randall, even though at the beginning of the year. Which I like. It's much more of a team. It's much more of a team mindset, and they all know that Julius Randle is their leader anyway, whether he has the C or the not. I was gonna say one thing I do love about Tibbs that he's definitely brought and instilled in the culture. Even before Gibson and Rose got there, because they both got there mid-year, they don't play 2 bad games in a row. If you get blown out, you are not that's not happening again. I knew 100% that they were going to beat the Thunder yesterday, even with the slow start, because Thibodeau does not let that crap happen. Years past, I was like, oh, we're about to have 2 30-point losses back to back. And that does not happen. He does not let them play terribly down to their competition the way we had in the past.
Yeah, because he'd rather kill himself than lose 2 games in a row.
100%.
Quick note, you got to give it to Thunder. They were not supposed to be as good as they are. They're not. I'm just saying they're going to win anything, but they look
also
really good. Majority of that. I don't think there's anybody on that roster from 2 years ago. It's a completely new roster.
Yeah, the luck about our injury thing going on so far is that also the Thunder would have probably been projected to lose anyway, but they also were missing SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't play yesterday. He's their leading scorer. So we are getting, knock on wood, pretty lucky going into these first few games so far.
You gotta, like we just said, you gotta win the games you're supposed to win.
You got to win the game you're supposed to win, and whoever's out there is out there. It's still COVID life. People get hurt all the time.
We're preaching. Right now we got guys that are out, and all we're saying is next man up. We got enough to win. We got enough to win, and that's the mindset of a good team. Is that you're always prepared to win no matter who's out on the floor. And I always thought that. And in 2013, I remember that was our glory years, my glory years as a Knicks fan. All our glory years as Knicks fans. I remember just there was times there was injuries, and no matter what, we always stepped up, and we always won the games we were supposed to win, no matter who was out on the floor. I remember when Melo was out.
That's what I like about this team. Somebody step to the plate.
Yep, James Smith was hitting game-winning shots. Everything was just next man up, and that's the start of a good team.
100%. The only thing is back then is that Mike D'Antoni is not nearly as good of a player's coach. He's more abrasive person. He never got Lin and Melo to coexist at all when Lin was actually doing well. Tom Thibodeau would not let that crap happen.
Yeah, I got to do a nice YouTube video on that. I got to do a nice YouTube video on Lin and Carmelo Anthony, why it didn't work out.
Hey, for all of our subscribers and listeners, by the way, if you could comment in the comments section, again, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Big Nick Energy. Vin doesn't want to be on the podcast too much. He wants to be behind the scenes. Can someone explain to this man that he has good intel and a beautiful face? We need you on here, man.
Aside from that, I don't want none of that. What I want you guys to do is tell us what you like and what you don't like.
Well, he's got hair on his head as well.
I wear the hat. I don't want to make you guys.
We can change BKA is BKA. We can make this bald Nick Energy if you really don't want to do it.
I'm sure Loopy will shave his head.
Yeah.
But guys, I think that wraps it up for this week's pod.
Any last words? We got 4 games this week, boys. How do we think we're gonna do?
I think we're gonna go 1-3, and that's me being optimistic.
So you're saying we beat Orlando and we lose the other 3 to the Philly and Brooklyn, I'm guessing.
Unfortunately.
I think we can split Philly.
I'm gonna be realistic.
I think 2-2 is there. I think we can split Philly.
Is this a road trip?
Away, they're at Brooklyn, at Philly, home Orlando, home Philly.
Yeah, we got to go 2-2.
Hey, let's see who's right. Next podcast.
Anthony MSG, you're going to be on. Check us out online. I've already said it 35 times.
Week. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, your mother, at Big Nick Energy.
Also your father. We're doing both. BKE, this has been Joe Yoke. That's been the crazy one that doesn't want to be on. And Angelo, the broken back man that makes it happen. Peace.
Peace.